When he heard a member of his own household speaking like that, how could he not be frightened? At that anxious moment, another little monster went forward to say, "Great king, don't be upset and don't be frightened. The proverb tells us that success comes step by step. If you desire to devour the Tang monk, let me offer you a plan to seize him." "What sort of plan do you have?" asked the old monster. "One called the plan of plum blossoms with parted petals," answered the little monster. "What do you mean by that?" asked the old monster. The little monster said, "Take a roll call of all the monsters in the cave, young and old. Select 100 out of the thousands, 10 out of the 100, and finally 3 out of those 10. These 3 must all have abilities and the capacity for transformation. They will all change into the great king's appearance, wearing his armor and holding his club, and then be placed in ambush. The first one will engage Zhu 8 rules in battle. The next, Pilgrim Sun. And the third, Sha Monk. We shall risk these 3 little monsters to induce those 3 brothers to leave their master. Then the great king will be able to stretch forth his hand from midair to seize the Tang monk, like fetching things from one's pocket, like squeezing a fly in the fishbowl. That's not too difficult, is it?" On hearing this, the old monster was filled with delight. "This is a most marvelous plan," said he. "When we set out, I won't do anything if we can't catch the Tang monk. But if we do catch him, I'll not treat you lightly. I'll appoint you as our vanguard officer." The little monster kowtowed to thank him before giving the order for the roll call. When all the monster spirits of the cave, young and old, were summoned into their presence, 3 able little monsters were indeed selected. All of them were told to change into the form of the old monster. Each holding the iron club, they were placed in ambuscade to wait for the Tang monk, and we shall leave them there for the moment. We tell you now about our elder Tang who, free of cares and worries, followed 8 rules up the main road. After they had proceeded for a long time, a loud pop from the side of the road suddenly brought out a little monster, who rushed forward and attempted to seize the elder. 8 rules!" cried Pilgrim Sun. "The monster spirit is here. Why don't you do something?" Without bothering to distinguish one from the other, our idiot whipped out his muckrake and dashed forward to attack madly the monster spirit, who met his blows with an iron club. Back and forth, the 2 of them fought beneath the mountain slope, when another fiend leapt out from some bushes with a pop and headed straight for the Tang monk. "Master, things are going wrong," cried Pilgrim. 8 rules is so blind that he has allowed the monster spirit to slip by him to come here to grab you. Let old monkey go beat him off." Hurriedly he wielded his rod and rushed forward, bellowing, "Where are you going? Watch my rod." Without uttering a word, the monster spirit lifted his club to meet him. Beneath the grassy knoll, the 2 of them thus rushed together, and as they fought, another monster spirit leapt out from behind the mountain to the howling of a strong gust and headed straight for the Tang monk. When Sha Monk saw him, he was horrified. "Master," he cried, "both big brother and second elder brother must be so dim of sight that they allowed the monster spirit to slip past them and come to grab you. Sit here on the horse, and let old Sand go capture him." This monk, without distinguishing between good and ill either, immediately wielded the staff to block the iron club of the monster spirit. They strove together most bitterly, shouting and screaming at each other as they gradually drifted away. When the old fiend, flying through the air, discovered the Tang monk sitting all alone on the horse, he reached down with his 5 steel-like claws. With one grasp, he lifted the master away from the horse and stirrup. The monster spirit then took him away in a gust of wind. How pitiful! This is why it's hard for Chan nature, demon-plagued, can't bear right fruit. River float meets again his ill-luck star. Lowering the wind, the old monster brought the Tang monk into the cave, shouting, "Vanguard!" The little fiend who planned all this ran forward to kneel down, saying, "I dare not accept the title. I dare not accept the title." "Why do you say this?" asked the old monster. "When a great general gives his word, It's as if the white has been dyed black. Just now I told you that I wouldn't do anything if we couldn't catch the Tang monk, but if we did, you would be appointed vanguard of our forces. Today your marvelous plan indeed succeeded. How could I betray you? You may bring the Tang monk over here, and ask the little ones to fetch water and scrub the pan, to haul in the wood and start a fire. Steam him a bit, so you and I can eat a piece of his flesh to lengthen our age. Great king, said the vanguard. Let's not eat him just yet, the old fiend said. We've captured him. Why shouldn't we eat him? The vanguard replied. Of course the great king may eat him, and if you do, both Ju 8 rules and Sha monk even may be persuaded that they should overlook the matter. But that bossy pilgrimson, I fear, may let loose his viciousness once he learns that we have devoured his master. He doesn't even have to come fight with us. All he needs do is plunge that golden hooped rod of his into the midriff of our mountain. It'll create such a gaping hole that the mountain itself will topple over. Then we won't even have a place to stay. Vanguard, said the old fiend. What sort of noble opinion do you have? As I see the matter, replied the vanguard. You should send the Tang monk into the back garden and tie him to a tree. Don't feed him any rice for 2 or 3 days. That'll clean up his inside, for one thing, and for another, it should give us the time we need until his 3 disciples stop searching for him at our door. When we know for certain that they have left, we'll then take him out and enjoy him at our leisure. Isn't that better? It is, said the old fiend, laughing. What the vanguard says makes perfect sense. The order was immediately given that the Tang monk would be brought into the back garden, where he was bound to a tree with a rope. Then the little fiends all went back to the front to wait on the old monster. Look at that elder. Enduring most bitterly the tight fetter and the restraint of ropes, he could not stop the tears from rolling down his cheeks. O disciples, he cried, in which mountain are you trying to capture fiends, and on what road are you chasing monsters? I have been brought by a brazen demon to suffer here. When will we ever meet again? The pain's killing me. As tears streamed from both his eyes, he heard someone calling from a tree opposite him, saying, Elder, so you, too, have entered here. Calming down, the elder said. Who are you? The man said. I'm a woodcutter from this mountain who was captured by that mountain lord and brought here. I have been bound for 3 days, and I imagine that they want to eat me. O woodcutter, said the elder as tears began to flow once more. If you die, you are all by yourself and you don't have any worries. I, however, cannot die in such a carefree manner. Elder, said the woodcutter, you are someone who has left home. You have neither parents above you nor wife and children below you. If you die, you die. What cares or concerns do you have? The elder said, I am someone sent by the land of the east to seek scriptures in the western heaven. By the decree of Emperor Taizong of the Tang court, I am to bow to the living Buddha and acquire from him the true scriptures, which will be used for the redemption of those orphaned lost souls in the region of darkness. If I lose my life here, would that not have dashed the expectation of the emperor and the high hopes of his ministers? Would that not grievously disappoint those countless mistreated souls in the city of wrongful death? They would never be redeemed, and all this attempt at meritorious fruit would be reduced to wind and dust. How could I die carefree and without concern? When the woodcutter heard these words, he too began to shed tears as he said, Elder, if you must die in this manner, then my death is even more grievous. I lost my father in childhood, and I have lived all my life with my widowed mother. We have no other livelihood except my gathering firewood. My old mother is now 83 and I'm her sole support. If I lose my life, who will take care of her or bury her? Oh misery! Oh misery! This pain is killing me. On hearing this, the elder wailed aloud, crying, How pitiful! How pitiful! If mountain rustics still long for their kin. This poor monk's been trained to chant sutras in vain. To serve the ruler or to serve one's parents follows the same principle. You live by the kindness of your parents, and I do by the kindness of my ruler. Truly it is that. The tearful eye beholds a tearful eye. A broken heart escorts a broken heart. We shall leave for the moment Tripitaka in suffering and confinement. We tell you instead about Pilgrim's son who, having defeated the little monster beneath the grassy knoll, hurried back to the side of the main road. His master had vanished. Only the white horse and the luggage remained. He was so horrified that he began searching toward the summit at once, leading the horse and pawing the luggage. Alas! This is how woe-beset river float keeps meeting more woes. The demon-rooting great sage is by demons plagued. We do not know whether he finally succeeds in locating his master. Let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter.